Have you ever walked down the seafood aisle, spotted a shiny little can of sardines, and wondered how those tiny fish made their way from the ocean to your plate? Believe it or not, what seems like a simple product is the result of an incredible journey that combines tradition, technology, and a surprising amount of science. Every single year, the world produces over 3.5 million tons of canned sardines. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of 10 Empire State Buildings, packed into tiny metal cans. And Morocco? It's the reigning champion of sardine exports, shipping out more than 152,000 tons in 2022, alone worth a whopping $500 million. That's not just a number. It's proof that sardines are a global superstar in the world of seafood. But what really goes on behind the scenes before those cans hit supermarket shelves? The answer is more fascinating than you think. Sardines have been a part of human diets for centuries, but their story is closely tied to one of the most important food preservation breakthroughs in history. The name sardine actually comes from Sardinia, an island in Italy where these small, oily fish were once abundant. Back in the late 18th century, Napoleon Bonaparte was facing a major problem: how to feed his army on long campaigns without the food spoiling. His solution? He offered a reward for anyone who could come up with a method to preserve food for long periods. Enter Nicolas Appert, a French chef and inventor who developed the concept of canning. A few years later, Peter Durand improved it by introducing the tin can, and suddenly the world had a way to keep food fresh for months, even years. This changed everything. The sardine canning industry took off in France, Portugal, and Spain. By the early 20th century, even the United States had jumped in, and before long, canned sardines were a global pantry staple. Today, thanks to convenience and nutrition, they're still a favorite, packed with protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and calcium. But the real question is, how do sardines make the incredible journey from the deep blue sea to that shiny little can in your cupboard? It all starts far from the factory floor, in the wide open ocean where specialized fishing vessels set sail in search of sardine-rich waters. These aren't just ordinary boats. They're equipped with advanced gear to locate large schools of sardines quickly. Once they find the perfect spot, fishermen deploy purse-seine nets that create a sort of underwater fence. With expert precision, the nets surround and gather thousands of shimmering sardines into one concentrated area. It's a mesmerizing sight as the nets are pulled up, revealing a glistening silver mass of fish sparkling under the sunlight. The clock starts ticking the moment those sardines leave the water. To preserve freshness, they're immediately transferred in 2 chilled seawater tanks right on the boat. This step is critical because sardines are delicate and can spoil quickly if not handled properly. After hours or even days at sea, the boats return to port, where the sardines are vacuum pumped into massive ice-filled containers. From there, they're rushed to processing plants within 12 hours. Timing is everything because any delay can affect taste, texture, and overall quality. Once the sardines arrive at the factory, it's all about precision and cleanliness. The first stop, a rigorous quality inspection. Only the best sardines make the cut, literally. After approval, the fish are placed in large water tanks for a thorough cleaning. Now, here's an interesting fact that surprises many people. Canned sardines still contain their bones. But don't worry, that's not because someone skipped a step. Sardine bones are incredibly soft after cooking and rich in calcium, which makes them completely edible and actually good for you. It's one reason sardines are considered a powerhouse of nutrition. From here, the action shifts to the automated processing line. In a matter of seconds, machines behead and gut each sardine with amazing speed and accuracy. But what about the leftover parts? They don't go to waste. Instead, they're recycled into fish meal, an important ingredient in animal feed and organic fertilizers. This ensures that almost nothing from the catch goes unused, making sardine processing surprisingly sustainable. After gutting, the fish go through another high-pressure rinse to make sure they're spotless and ready for the next stage. Have you ever noticed how perfectly arranged sardines look inside the can? That's no accident. Before canning, every single container is sterilized to eliminate bacteria and maintain food safety. In some state-of-the-art factories, robotic arms now handle the job of arranging sardines in neat rows, packing them with incredible precision and speed. It's almost like an art form. Still, in many traditional facilities, this step is done by hand, with skilled workers carefully lining up each fish to meet strict quality standards. Next comes cooking. And this step is crucial for flavor and safety. The sardines are steamed at temperatures between 212 and 248 degrees Fahrenheit for about 5 to 10 minutes. This gentle cooking method ensures that the fish remain tender and moist while killing any harmful microorganisms. After steaming, they're rapidly cooled to lock in that delicate texture and prevent drying out. Now comes the part that makes your taste buds tingle: the sauce. Depending on the brand, sardines may be packed in tomato sauce, olive oil, mustard, or even spicy chili. Once the sauce is added, the cans move to a high-speed sealing station, where they're hermetically sealed to keep out air and bacteria. But the process doesn't stop there. To guarantee absolute safety, the sealed cans undergo thermal sterilization in either hot water or high-pressure steam. This step heats the cans to about 248 degrees Fahrenheit, destroying any remaining bacteria, and ensuring the sardines stay fresh for months without a single chemical preservative. After sterilization, the cans are rapidly cooled and then head to labeling and packaging. Each can gets a stamped expiration date before being packed into cartons and shipped to supermarkets worldwide. So the next time you pick up a can of sardines, you'll know it's more than just a quick snack. It's the result of a highly controlled process that combines cutting-edge technology, age-old preservation techniques, and a global supply chain. Convenient, nutritious, and ready to eat straight from the can, sardines have earned their spot as a household favorite. But speaking of luxury seafood, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something that makes sardines look downright humble: caviar. Imagine a food so exclusive that for centuries it was reserved for kings, emperors, and aristocrats. A single spoonful of these shimmering pearls can cost hundreds of dollars, making caviar one of the most luxurious delicacies in the world. But what exactly is it, and how does it go from fish to fine dining? The story of caviar is as rich as its flavor. It dates back to the 10th century, when the Persians first enjoyed the roe of sturgeon from the Caspian Sea, believing it had powerful medicinal properties. By the 16th century, Russian royalty had embraced it, with Tsar Ivan the Terrible among its biggest fans. Fast forward a few centuries, and caviar made its way to Europe and eventually the United States, where it became a symbol of status and sophistication. Fact: here's a fun piece of trivia. At the start of the 20th century, caviar was so plentiful in the U.S. that saloons served it free with drinks, much like peanuts today. Hard to believe when you consider how expensive it is now. Modern caviar production is a fascinating mix of tradition and science. It begins with sturgeon farming, where these ancient fish are raised in carefully controlled environments to ensure both sustainability and quality. When the time comes, skilled specialists extract the roe with incredible precision. The eggs are then washed, salted, and graded based on size, color, and texture. Finally, they're packed into airtight tins, ready to be shipped to some of the finest restaurants and gourmet shops in the world. It's a painstaking process, but the result is a product that food lovers consider nothing short of perfection. From humble sardines to extravagant caviar, the world of preserved seafood is full of stories that span centuries and continents. Imagine holding one of the world's most luxurious delicacies in your hand, tiny, glistening pearls that cost more per ounce than gold. This is caviar, a food that has symbolized sophistication for centuries. But have you ever wondered what it takes to create this prized delicacy? The story behind caviar is not just about luxury. It's a fascinating journey that starts deep underwater with one of nature's most ancient creatures, the sturgeon. Today, we're diving into the incredible process of how caviar is made and uncovering another legendary condiment that might surprise you with its origins: Worcestershire sauce. Trust me, you'll never look at these foods the same way again. The journey of caviar begins with the sturgeon, a prehistoric fish that has been swimming through Earth's waters for more than 250 million years. It's older than dinosaurs and has seen the world transform over millennia. Today, most of the caviar you enjoy doesn't come from wild sturgeon anymore. Why? Because decades of overfishing pushed these majestic giants to the brink of extinction. Now, responsible producers have turned to sustainable aquaculture to keep this tradition alive without harming the species. Sturgeons are raised in pristine, carefully controlled environments that mimic their natural habitats. They grow slowly, taking anywhere from 8 to 20 years to mature, depending on the species. Can you imagine waiting 2 decades for a single harvest? That's the level of patience and dedication involved in producing this delicacy. Once the sturgeon reach the perfect stage of maturity, the most delicate step begins roe extraction. This process requires surgical precision because even the slightest mishandling can ruin the quality of the eggs. To minimize stress, the fish are usually sedated before the roe is carefully removed. Inside the fish, the roe sacs are like soft, shimmering treasures waiting to be revealed. Fun fact for you: a single sturgeon can produce up to 100 pounds of roe during its lifetime. Can you guess what the largest recorded sturgeon yielded? Drop your guesses in the comments. I bet you'll be shocked by the real number. After extraction, the eggs go through a meticulous screening process to remove any broken eggs or impurities. Only the finest, intact pearls move forward to become the caviar you see on gourmet tables. Next comes rinsing. The roe is gently washed with cold water to remove blood and residue, enhancing its pure, briny flavor. This step may sound simple, but it's vital to achieving that clean, oceanic taste that makes caviar irresistible. Now we arrive at one of the most critical steps: salting. This stage doesn't just preserve the eggs, it defines their taste and texture. The method used is called malo sol, which means little salt in Russian. As the name suggests, just a touch of salt, usually between 3% and 5% of the caviar's weight, is added. Too much salt, and you overwhelm the delicate flavor. Too little, and you risk spoilage. Interestingly, the salt used often comes from ancient seabeds, adding yet another layer of history and authenticity to this luxurious food. After salting, the caviar is aged for several weeks. Why? Because like fine wine or artisan cheese, time allows the flavors to deepen and harmonize. Once it reaches perfection, the caviar is packed into airtight tins, meticulously labeled with details about its origin, grade, and production date. These labels aren't just for show, they guarantee authenticity and transparency for consumers who demand the very best. But producing caviar isn't just about taste and luxury, it's about responsibility. Historically, wild caviar production caused catastrophic declines in sturgeon populations. Today, sustainable aquaculture ensures that future generations can enjoy this delicacy without destroying ecosystems. Modern farms focus on maintaining healthy fish populations, reducing environmental impact, and supporting conservation efforts worldwide. It's a reminder that even the finest foods have a duty to protect the planet. Speaking of surprising culinary stories, let's switch gears for a moment. Did you know that Worcestershire sauce, the tangy, savory liquid that adds magic to Bloody Marys and Caesar salads, actually started from a mixture of fermented anchovies? Yes, those tiny fish you might avoid on pizza are the backbone of one of the world's most iconic condiments. The story behind this sauce is so strange it almost sounds like an accident, and that's because it was. The tale begins in the early 1800s in the English city of Worcester. Two chemists, John Lee and William Perrins, were approached by a nobleman who had returned from India. He loved a particular sauce he had tasted there and asked them to recreate it. The pair experimented with a blend of tamarind, molasses, vinegar, spices, and anchovies. But their first attempt? Total disaster. The mixture smelled awful and tasted even worse. Disappointed, they shoved the batch into a basement and forgot about it. Months later, they rediscovered it, and what they tasted blew them away. Time had transformed the harsh flavors into a rich, complex sauce bursting with depth. They bottled it, named it after their hometown, and the rest is history. By the mid-19th century, Worcestershire sauce was being shipped worldwide and cementing its place in kitchens everywhere now. How is this iconic sauce made today? The process starts with familiar ingredients: malt vinegar for acidity, molasses for sweetness, salt for balance, tamarind for tanginess, and a rich blend of onions and garlic for depth. But the real star? Anchovies. These little fish, when fermented for 18 months, release powerful umami notes that make Worcestershire sauce unique. The mixture also includes cloves, chili, and a secret blend of spices guarded for generations. All these ingredients are combined and left to mature in barrels for a year and a half. During this time, something magical happens. The anchovies break down proteins, transform into amino acids, and the vinegar slowly melds all the flavors into one harmonious blend. That 80-month wait isn't just tradition, it's the key to the sauce's signature complexity. Once fermentation is complete, the mixture is filtered to remove solids like anchovy bones and tamarind pods. What's left is a concentrated liquid, bursting with flavor. But before it reaches your table, it goes through blending, where secret spices are added to maintain consistency in taste and aroma. Finally, modern automated lines fill and seal each bottle with precision. Every bottle undergoes rigorous quality checks before being shipped around the world. Worcestershire sauce isn't just for steaks and marinades. It's the secret behind a bold Bloody Mary, the magic touch in Caesar dressing, and the hidden flavor booster in soups and gravies. Just a few drops can transform a dish from ordinary to extraordinary. And here's a fun thought: next time you sip that cocktail or savor a grilled burger, remember that anchovies and patience made it possible. Like all large-scale production, Worcestershire sauce manufacturing has its environmental challenges. Producing glass bottles emits significant CO, and the fermentation process consumes energy. Plus, organic waste like anchovy bones and tamarind shells needs proper disposal. Thankfully, many companies now adopt sustainable practices, using recycled glass to cut emissions by 25%, recycling organic waste into fertilizer, reducing water usage by 40%, and even installing solar energy systems to power their factories. These efforts help keep the sauce eco-friendly while preserving its incredible flavor for generations to come. From prehistoric sturgeon that take decades to mature to tiny anchovies aging quietly for 18 months, these foods teach us one thing: greatness takes time. Every bite of caviar and every drop of Worcestershire sauce carries a story of tradition, science, and craftsmanship. Which part of this journey amazed you most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love learning about the hidden world of food production, make sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories from around the globe.